student, we were studied the first ecological plant group, and that was a hydrophytes. Now in this video we are going to studying the next ecological plant group, and the name of that ecological plant group is mesophytes. Meso means in between and phytes mean plants. So this ecological plant group is in between the xerophyte and hydrophyte. In the mesophytic plant group, the plants are growing in a optimum condition of environment, mostly optimum condition of temperature and optimum condition of water is available for the plant growth. And in such condition, those plants grows. They are ecologically grouped into a group named as a mesophytes. So this ecological plant group is also called as a ordinary plant group. Ordinary plant groups means the plant we see around us that are very ordinary or normally growing on a land, and such group of plant is called as a mesophyte. These mesophytes grows in a average condition of moisture and temperature. Means for their growth, the amount of moisture required and temperature is required that is available in that particular habitat, and such all kinds of plants are ecologically classified or grouped as a mesophytes. There is a moderate or well balanced supply of moisture, and such condition of moisture is identified as a mesic habitat, and therefore they are growing in a optimum or moderate condition, and therefore they don't need to show adaptation as a special character, or they don't need to develop a special character that may be structurally or physiologically. And that's why, like the another ecological groups, hydrophytes and xerophytes, the mesophytes do not show the special adaptations in them, because they don't need to develop a special adaptation, and that's why such structure or such adaptations are lack in the mesophyte. But also, what are the external characters in their different parts like a leaves, stem and root, and what are the internal characters in their stem, leaves and root, that we want to study. So what are the characteristic features externally as well as internally seen in the mesophytic plants? So that now we will going to see. First we will see the external ecological features that are found in the mesophytes. The external ecological features are very normal. There are no special ecological features. For example, you can see the following are the external ecological features we can report in the mesophytic plant. Root system of mesophytic plant is well developed and branched. So root system is normal. The root shows the presence of root cap at their growing tip for the protection of growing tip, and also shows the presence of root hairs. This is also a normal characteristic feature, external characteristic feature. The stem of mesophyte is aerial, solid and branched. Stem is also normal, mostly they are aerial, mostly solid, and they shows the number of branches. The leaves in the mesophytes are of larger size. They are broad, thin and are of different shape. You can see the normal growing plants on the land, they possesses the different types of leaves or different shape size of leaves. These leaves are formed horizontally without hair and waxy coating. You can see in case of the mesophytes, the leaves are horizontally developed on the branches or stems axis, and they don't have any waxy coating or hairs on their surface. So they are normal, horizontally growing or horizontally developed, and they are becomes horizontal because they can gives the more surface for sunlight and for efficient photosynthesis. So these are the some of the external ecological features are observed in the different organs of the mesophyte. Now we will go to the what are the internal ecological features are observed in the mesophytic plants in their different parts. First, the cuticle is moderately developed in aerial parts. So cuticle is not well developed, but it is moderate, not like a hydrophytes. Epidermis well developed and without hair. Epidermis of mesophytic plants might be there, maybe their root stem and leaves epidermis is well developed, they do not have any hairs. The epidermal cell lacks chloroplast. The stomata are present on the both surfaces of the leaves. So here in case of hydrophytes or in case of xerophytes, they may show the presence of chloroplast in the epidermal cell for photosynthesis, but here the leaves are well developed and that is why such modification is also not seen. So the cell of epidermis are without chloroplast. The stomata are present on both surface of leaves for the efficient exchange of gases and transpiration. Guard cells of stomata shows movements. They can close and they can show the opening as per the need. So that is what they are showing the movement. In dicot leaves, the mesophyll tissue means the tissue in between the upper and lower epidermis that are called as a mesophyll tissue. In case of dicotyledon leaves, the mesophyll tissue are well differentiated into a palisade and spongy tissue, are well developed into the differentiated into palisade and spongy, and there are many intercellular spaces are developed for exchange of gases. Whereas in case of monocot, this thing only happens in dicot. In case of monocot, such differentiation is not found. The monocot leaves do not show such clear cut differentiation as like a palisade and spongy tissue. In case of the mesophyte, different organs, the mechanical and vascular tissue are well developed because there is a need of conduct water and need of transportation of the food, and that is why the vascular tissue and as well as mechanical tissue are well developed. In summer, these mesophytic plants undergoes the temporary wilting because in the summer the moisture is get reduced, and that is why these kinds of plants to save from the dry conditions, they can show the temporary wilting, and when water is available, so they can again become say normal. In lower epidermis of leaves, there is a wavy lateral walls. The lower epidermis cells of the mesophyte leaves shows the wavy lateral outlines, and such condition or such lateral wall in case of the xerophytes and hydrophytes is becomes a straight, but here that becomes a wavy. These are the some of the internal ecological features of a mesophytic plant group. You can take any example of the mesophytic plant group. The different kinds of crops we can cultivate in a optimum or normal condition of environment, mostly as a temperature and in the water. So they are all the plants are example of the mesophytic plant group. For example, the mesophytic plants are like a pea, maize, marigold, etc. These are an examples of the mesophytic plants. So this is what a normal plant group. Ecologically, the mesophytes means a normal plant group that are growing in a normal condition of environment, and that is why this plant group do not shows any kind of special adaptations in their structure. So this is what our today's topic, the mesophytes, external ecological features and internal ecological features which are seen in the mesophytic plant group. Student, the next ecological plant group, that is third one, and that is named as xerophytes. First of all, we will see what is meant by xerophytes, what are the different conditions of environment in which these xerophytes are growing, and what are the different types of xerophytes. So, this ecological plant group named as a xerophyte. Xero or xeric means dry. It means that the plants which are growing in a dry condition, or another way we can say the plant which are growing in a less amount of water availability. So, water availability in a such habitat is less, or temporary water available during only the rainy seasons. So, xerophytes are the plants, they are growing in the xeric condition or dry condition or xeric habitat, and that habitat having a characteristic features like there is a scarcity of water, means water is not available throughout the year, but some little amount of water is available only during the rainy season, and that is what is scarcity of water. And the temperature is also high. Such habitat also shows the high amount of temperature, that is another feature. The intensity of light is also very strong in such habitat, and high velocity of water can also be reported in the such kind of habitat, and all these characteristic features makes very difficult to survive the plant, and such plants then also survive in that adverse condition of environment, and they are identified or they are named as a xerophytes. So, plants growing in a little amount of water or in the xeric condition. Ecologically, these xerophytes are further differentiated into the three types. The first group of xerophyte, that is called as a ephemeral annuals, or this group of plant is also called as a drought escaping xerophytes. Drought escaping means what? In future the drought period is coming, but before that this group of plants complete their life cycle. So, they can escape the drought period, and that is why they are called as a drought escaping xerophytes. What does it means? Means when the first rain shower occurs, that time the seeds of this plant shows the immediate germination, and in the coming month of the rainy season this plant grows fastly and they can complete life cycle within the rainy period, stipulated rainy period, and that is why they do not have to face the more drought period, and such plants are called as a ephemeral annuals. Once they can grow, they can complete their life cycle, they produce flowers, they shows fertilization, they produce seeds, and then their life cycle is completed. It means later on, even though water is not available, then also they can survive up to the few months and they can remain say dry, and such group of plant, xerophytic group of plant called as a ephemeral annuals. For example, we can see around us the many plants, they can grow immediately after first shower of rain, and they can stay up to the 3 to 4 months. For example, Argemone mexicana, locally this plant is called as a Pivda Dhotra, then Solanum xanthocarpum, this is called as a Bhuiringni or wild brinjal, and Cassia tora. Everywhere we can see all these are the unwanted weed plants, they are becomes a ephemeral and they can survive in the nature. The second group of xerophytic plant, that is called as a non-succulent perennial xerophytes. These are the drought enduring plants, means even in the drought period or dry period this plant has to grow or survive, and they become a non-succulent. They are very sturdy, hard or crooked, and they are non-succulent and they can survive in the adverse environmental condition or in a dry condition where there is no water is available also. So this plant shows some different modifications. They are called as a drought enduring because they have to face the drought period or dry period, and that is why they are called as a drought enduring plants. They are annual, means they can complete their life cycle within a year, not becomes in the 4 months. For example, we can see there are many annuals plants are there around us. For example, Calotropis can survive for a long years or many years even in the dry period. Acacia nilotica, Ziziphus, these are the some of the examples of the non-succulent kind of xerophytes. Their root system is very well developed. They becomes a perennial, hard, their stem is very hard, they shows the huge amount of branches, and they can survive in the dry period also. The last group of xerophytes, that is called as a succulent xerophytes. Succulents means these are the shallow rooted xerophytes. They are becomes a fleshy, and mostly they can absorb the large amount of water when water is available in the rainy season, and for that purpose the shallow root system is help to them to absorb a surface water at a maximum efficiency when water is available. And such water, when that water is absorbed at a large amount in the rainy season, and such water is stored in the different organs of their body, and that is why their body is becomes a succulent or fleshy, and that is why this group of xerophyte is called as a succulent xerophyte. For example, we can see many plants which are of succulent xerophytic in nature around us. One of the medicinally important plant, aloe vera, or in Marathi that is called as a korpad. You can see the leaf of korpad is very fleshy. That is what the greater amount of water is stored in the leaf tissue. And if you will see, their root system is very shallow but efficient for the absorption of surface water. The another example, that many species of euphorbia, for example euphorbia milli is there, opuntia, this is one of the kind of cactus. All these are the fleshy. In case of opuntia, their stem is becomes a fleshy, and that is called as a phylloclad, that is a green, but that can also perform a function of photosynthesis. The stem is become green, fleshy, and leaves are reduced to save the water or to avoid the transpiration or loss of water through leaves. So these are the three different groups of the xerophytes. In the next video, we want to see what are the internal and external ecological adaptations are taken place in the xerophytic plants, which are helps them to survive in the dry or xeric condition.